Just kidding. Last time I was muted when I started, and so I said some great things and nobody could hear me. Uh, but this time I'm coming to you live. You can hear me. My name is Dr. Eric Kowalki. As you can see, I'm in a different environment this month. I'm in a hotel in Nashville at a conference I'm going to attend in the next couple days. So I'm super excited to be here. But excited to be with you guys too. So I'm a chiropractor. I have a practice in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I just want to say thanks to Stu Hoffman for putting this on and everything he does with ChiroSecure and hosting all these shows and just giving back to the profession. Anybody that uses ChiroSecure that's ever had something happen where they needed something, usually when you call, you speak to Dr. Stu himself. And they always help us out with every situation. So thanks again, Dr. Stu, for all you do for the profession. We really, really appreciate it. This is the Look to the Children show. If this is the first time you're ever joining, there's two of these. I do the first Thursday of every month, and then Dr. Monica Berger does the third Thursday of every month. And if you haven't seen her show, it's awesome. I try to keep my show about 20 minutes, give you some real practical stuff that you can use to help your office see more kids and see more pediatrics in your practice, and ultimately serve more kids because they're the next generation that is going to take over the world. And we want them to be healthy, happy adults that have clear, good functioning nervous systems, right? So our practice, we have 5 doctors, 4,500 square feet, probably 8 adjusting rooms. We see tons of kids, hundreds and hundreds every single week. And it's a ton of fun. And so I want to talk specifically today on why parents are going to be seeking chiropractic in 2021 more than ever before. And as I was preparing for this show and I was thinking about this, I remember specifically when I started in chiropractic school a while ago now. We were almost in 10 years in practice, so 14 years ago. I remember being so excited, and that feeling you get when you first get it. Like when somebody explains to you the power of chiropractic in a way that makes sense to you. I was an engineer before, so my brain thinks very methodically. And somebody explained it to me about kids and chiropractic care for kids and why it's so important. And it shifted me out of the structure, pain-based mindset into a function, health, vitality mindset. And I remember the moment I was like, man, I hope I can remember this feeling, and I hope I can remember the ability to communicate like this, and just keeping it super simple to parents. Because when you become a chiropractor and you go through all this stuff, it's very easy to know so much that you really complicate your education. So you make it so complicated and so in-depth and detailed that the average person doesn't really understand what you're talking about. It sounds really good, and you sound like you know what you're talking about because you are. People just can't relate to it because you're like 4 or 5 steps ahead of what they really want to know. And so I remember at that time thinking, man, I hope I can just remember this feeling. And so preparing for this, it made me think about, chiropractic. There's so much debate on structure versus function and pain-based models versus vitalistic models. And unfortunately, there's a lot of division in the profession on that. I feel like in certain circles and just groups and people discussing that. I don't think that's, I don't really like division. I think we're all on the same mission. But specifically when I think about targeting kids, the structure part of it, and we take x-rays in our office, the structure part of it is just backing up the principle of chiropractic, showing this is what the result is of subluxation and keeping it subluxation based. I can tell you'll stand out in all your peers and in your community if you keep the communication subluxation based around principal chiropractic. What do I mean by that? I mean, the nervous system controls the body. The brain controls the body through the nervous system. The brain and the nervous system is the lifeline to all the other parts of the body. And so you're communicating subluxation as interference to the brain's ability to communicate to the body and interference in the body's ability to communicate back to the brain. And that interference causes the body not to function at optimal health. And then you use Insight or Titron or thermography or SEMG or some sort of objective analysis to show nervous system interference and correlate that along with the symptoms. So It's a lot harder to do that. It takes a lot more practice. You have to be really good at it. You have to be really confident at it. You have to have experience to communicate that effectively. It's a lot easier to just focus on the symptoms, because if the parents bringing the kid in for ear infections, it's easy to just almost treat the ear infection and adjust structurally, like, oh, there's a structural imbalance, we're going to fix it, the ear infection is going to go away. Well, without going into the neurology behind it and the what's really happening, the fixing the bone isn't what makes the ear infection go away. The power of the own body to heal itself and function the way it was intended is what makes the body heal, and the ear infection heal, and the bladder and whatever else we see with kids. And so that part of it, you're just really underutilizing so much if you don't explain that part, the power of the body to heal itself. And you're also setting yourself up to overpromise and underdeliver. So let's say they have ear infections and you say, well, this is what I see out of place, I'm going to adjust this, we'll see if that helps that symptom. You're putting yourself in a box of treating the symptom by fixing this one thing. So if you fix that one thing and the symptom doesn't go away, now you just set yourself up saying that it would go away, or giving the impression that it would go away by fixing this. You fixed it and it didn't go away. So now you're on the defense, and you never want to be on the defense with chiropractic, because it's all how you set yourself up in the expectations at the beginning of care. And so as I go through this, I hope you're just taking notes and you're thinking through the scenarios in your office, the times we all done this, where you will kind of overpromise. You're just so excited to see this person. You think their nervous system is going to adapt really quickly. You think they're going to heal really quickly, and then they don't. There's always one that, doesn't heal as fast as you thought. There's so many outside factors that are affecting their nervous system, whether it's what they're eating, what they're doing at home, their lifestyle, the length of time that they've been subluxated. All of these things come in factor. So you really never want to overpromise and underdeliver. You always want to do the opposite. And by setting that up where 100% of the time, as a chiropractor, you can remove nervous system interference. You're the best at it. Only chiropractors can remove nervous system interference. You're assessing for interference in the nervous system in your analysis, and you're adjusting to improve the function of the nervous system and remove nervous system interference. You can do that 100% of the time, guaranteed every time. If that's what you promise to do, then the results are all dependent on how fast that person's body heals, which is incredibly out of your control. You don't know that. You can estimate based on your experience and what you've seen in these cases, but you don't know. There's always outliers. Some kids get better in one adjustment. You see amazing miracles, and some take a lot longer. But in every one of those cases, you're removing nervous system interference, and you're moving the ball forward, and you're going the right direction. And as long as you keep doing the right thing long enough, good things are going to happen. And if you use technology to measure the nervous system, that can back you up, showing that we're making progress. We're seeing change in the thermography, the SEMG, the HRV. All of those things are improving and going the right direction. And then it's just a length of time to allow the body to heal from everything else that's been going in. I mean, if you look at the toxins going into kids these days with everything in our environment, and 5G radiation and vaccines and all of this crazy stuff, there's a lot coming at these kids. And so it changes and affects how their nervous system heals from that. So I would encourage you, keep it function based, keep it principle chiropractic, keep it subluxation based. It sounds so simple, and sometimes we want to overcomplicate it and just add in all this stuff. I can tell you, for a parent that has a kid that's suffering, they've never heard that. They've been given so much promises that just haven't happened. We'll take this, it's going to get them better. It doesn't work. And then they post something on Facebook and they get 50 friends telling them to take, well, try this supplement, try that. Did you try to put them in this position? Did you try to, all this stuff? So a parent wants their kid to get better, that they'll exhaust every possible option to help their child. And at some point they can get just really defeated, and you've seen these parents come in and they're like, I have no hope. They literally lose hope. They're like, this is one more thing. I don't even really want to be here, because I just don't want to get excited or get my hopes up one more time and be let down. And you just got to connect and relate to these parents, because that's the scenario they're in. And if you just like, I totally understand. This is something you haven't done though. This is what we see, which is why the thermography, SEMG, HRV is so important, because it's an analysis system and it's an approach that they haven't tried. They haven't looked at it. They haven't measured this at all. And it's measuring and it is an approach on the most important system of their whole body that they've never even looked at. So instead of addressing an internal component of the body or an organ system, we're addressing the core, the main root, how the body functions from the brain nervous system level, which is really where they should have started. So once you go through this conversation with parents, the light bulb goes off and they're like, man, I wish I would have just done this first. I wish I would have gone to the nervous system first. And is there a nervous system problem? Because if there is, then all the other stuff isn't going to work like it's supposed to and help my child. If the underlying core issue is the nervous system isn't functioning at 100% and optimally, and chiropractors, you guys are the only ones that do this. We can focus on nervous system interference, improving the function of the nervous system to allow that kid's body to express 100% true health. And we're the only ones that can do it. It just separates us apart. And if we just stick to that, our core, parents are just it gives them hope that they've never had hope before. And ultimately, that's what we want to do for parents, give them hope and then deliver on that and see their child get better. So those analyses are really important. One thing when I go through my initial orientation and we're talking about subluxation degeneration, so since we take x-rays, we talk about degeneration in x-rays. Well, you never see a kid with stage 3 degeneration where they're losing disc space or they have bone spurs or anything like that. But it could be good to show some of those things to parents because ultimately that's the underlying result of years of subluxation happening in the body, resulting in wear and tear on the spine, resulting in nervous system interference even more, and inability of the body to adapt to those changing structures of the spine and nervous system interference. And so I always stay out of the fear zone. You never want to get into the area of if you don't do this to your kid or they don't get adjusted, this is what's going to happen to them and they're going to be like super sick. You always stay in the hope and excitement. And if you're watching this, you like kids, you like pediatric chiropractic. Not every chiropractor does. That's okay. There's so many scenarios, so many places chiropractors are needed. Pediatric chiropractic care is specifically what we're talking about here. And that feeling in your heart when you review a new patient that's coming in and you start looking over that kid's symptoms and you're like, I just cannot wait to get this kid adjusted. You're like, I would do it for free if, I could, and I could just see this kid because I know it's going to change their life. And by changing that kid's life, you're changing the parent's life. You're changing their whole family structure unit. You're changing how they interact when they go out to eat. I mean, there's a scenario of a little girl that came in our office, and I'll tell you this story quick because it's super impactful, and it makes me want to be just share this even more, which is why I do this with you guys every month, is to just help you reach more kids and adjust more kids. She came in because a friend saw a flyer that they were going to raise money for a wheelchair for her because she was losing the ability to walk. And she had spinal meningitis a year prior and was really struggling and basically lost all function. Couldn't eat on her own, couldn't walk on her own, couldn't talk on her own anymore, wasn't playing, was screaming all night long, wasn't sleep, wouldn't nap, like total dysfunction child. Perfect storm kind of kid if you follow Tony in his program. And this person paid for that little girl's care. So instead of donating for the wheelchair, he donated to Principal Chiropractic. So think about this for me for a second. That was a single older gentleman. He was probably in his 60s. So you might be thinking a 60-year-old guy comes into your practice with low back pain or neck pain. You're reviewing degeneration charts with him. You're reviewing structure. You're showing him x-rays. You're talking about, improving the function of his spine, helping him function better. You always got to realize people know people that you don't know. You never know. You never know the impact that will make. You always have to share on what chiropractic is and how amazing it is, even for kids, even to adults, which is why the orientation is so important. So It doesn't matter if you do an individual orientation, one-on-ones, or if you do a group. Personally, we do a group. But it gives me the ability to talk about why chiropractic care is so important for kids and the amazing changes that can happen in kids' lives and how you're setting them up for a lifetime of success. And then we also have testimonials that we share every single week of other kids to everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a 65-year-old guy. We're like, you're not going to believe what happened last week. Little Johnny got adjusted, and we just share the story. So that was off course, but all of those things were set in motion and in place in order for this guy to really understand the power of chiropractic. And then he saw the flyer to raise money for this little girl with a wheelchair. He's like, hey, I'd like to pay for her care. She came in. There's a bunch of other things that happened. She actually came in and left because it was too busy in the office. And then we called her, and they came back in, and it was very interesting. And anyways, they started her first adjustment. She got off the table. It was an Atlas adjustment. She was able to turn her head to the left for the first time in a year. She hasn't been able to look left. She was stuck like this. Actually, the camera is the opposite way, so maybe like that. She got to the table. She was able to look to the left. And as we progressed through like 12 months of care and all of her reevaluations and analysis, she was having seizures, multiple seizures a day for up to 10 minutes as well. So she was on all kinds of medications. Her medications reduced. Her seizures reduced significantly. She started talking. She started walking. She started eating on her own again and using her hands. She started writing. What else did she start doing? She rode a bike. All of these things, her body just started to come to life, literally come to life. I mean, there's no more perfect example of why we do what we do if you see kids than a scenario like that. Like that little girl came in and her life was just locked from her brain to her body. It was just subluxated. Her brain couldn't communicate to her body. It wanted to so bad. It had the power. It had the ability. It just needed to be freed of nerve interference and start to work like it can. And there's nothing more powerful than the power of the human body and the ability of it to heal itself. But if you drop the ball with communicating that up front, you'll never even get the chance to see these kids. So even if you screwed this up so many times and kids don't stay under care for a long time, or you don't communicate well and they don't get started, or you feel like they're just not getting it, don't give up. Just keep trying, keep refining your approach, keep trying to learn more, join groups, join coaching organizations that can teach you, that can enhance your skills, go to seminars, practice with other people, because kids' lives are literally on the line, and it's our ability to know how to communicate it effectively, the power of their own body to heal itself, because they're just not taught that. Nobody knows that. Parents aren't even hearing that anywhere they go. That's always a sick care model, treating symptoms, instead of a model that really unlocked the power of their own body to heal itself. You can tell I'm excited just talking about it. So work on it. It just, so many kids need us out there. The just destruction that's happening with the health of our next generation is astonishing. And there's no other profession that's going to step up and do something about it and take care of these kids than us and chiropractors. So see this, take notes, get better, post in the comments, whatever it was that you feel like was your best takeaway. Post in the comments your advice, something that you found that works really good with you. Share this with your friends, and try to just help chiropractors reach more people and adjust more kids too. So thanks, guys. This was a fun show. I love talking about this stuff. Don't miss Dr. Monica. You can see this on the screen right now. Coming up in a couple Thursdays. Stay tuned to this ChiroSecure page to connect with her. But thanks again. We look forward to seeing you again in March. It'll be March 2021. Who knows where I'll be in which state that time, but have a wonderful week, and we'll be back for March Madness 2021. Hopefully it's basketball madness instead of the current state of madness, but have a great week, you guys.
Today's pediatric show, Look to the Children, was brought to you by ChiroSecure.